We continue our look back on the season and head to Seattle, Washington for the 4th round of the championship. Tanner Faust would go up against Darren McNamara in one of the hardest fought semifinals of the year.
I had some of the best tandem runs I've ever had with McNamara. It was just over and over and over again, one more times. Like, we did like 6 runs and it was just awesome. In Formula D, the level is raised again to not where you just have to be really clean in every single run. You need to be absolutely attacking every car that's in your target every single tandem round.
It's tough because it can go any way, you know, and that's the one thing with drifting. I mean, you don't get 100 laps and make a mistake, you get 99 laps to make it up. You get one run, if you make one mistake, you're going home. So that's the toughest thing about the sport. It's really, really demoralizing when that kind of thing happens, and it can happen so easily, even if you have the best car on the day.
Tanner ends up getting the win, but who would he go up against in the final? Takatori or Turek?
I love Seattle. I love Evergreen Speedway. I love the crowd here. They're great. There's a great grassroots drift scene here, and it just draws a lot of core guys out here that are really into the sport. And you know, the bleachers are packed, and you can hear them cheering and yelling towards the end of the night.
Ryan Turk got pumped from the crowd and got the victory. He would go up against Faust in the final.
I gave him just a little more room than I'd given Darren, but he didn't pull the handbrake, so he was gone. So I was on chase mode the whole time, and so I didn't catch him until we got like 3/4 of the way through the bank. And then I knew I had to really attack for the last 3 corners in order to get even to have a chance, frankly. We went back, and then I was leading the next run, but I kicked it in. I went as fast as I've ever entered. And then instead of braking to come into the infield, I just went like full angle and kept full throttle.
I was wicked high in the bank. I was really close to Tanner, and all of a sudden he just maxed his angle out, and I was too close. I had nowhere to go, and so I hit the brakes to avoid hitting him. And I was so close to the wall, when I hit the brakes, it just stuffed me up into the wall. And we're going so fast, when you catch the rear end like that, it just noses the front end, and it was just chaos from there. I mean, look at the wheel, the thing is destroyed.
Di and JR had been doing so well in the first few rounds. Now they dropped the ball just a little bit in this one. It opens the door for some of the other guys to come in. I think this championship could be one of the most interesting championships at the final in Irwindale that we've ever had at Formula D.
The door opens for Faust and Turek, but they would have to do well here in Las Vegas to take advantage. This did not happen as we joined Daijiro and JR doing battle once again in the semifinals. Ken Gidden beat Yoshihara this time.
You know, this year in Formula Drift for us has been incredible. We've been holding the top spot all season. It's been a battle between me and Di. Now, Di has beaten me every time we've battled this year. It's been good, hard, head-to-head battles, and he's came out victorious. Going up against him in Vegas, I look at it like going up against any other competitor. I'm gonna drive as hard as I can and do what I need to do to win.
It was like my final today because he's leading the championship, and to me to beat him right now, it's like big, you know, big thing. So I'm sure I got really close to him right now. So I'm so happy. It's like my final.
You know, I led first, and again, I think that's my strong suit tonight is just my lead run. It's pretty solid and consistent, so I laid it down, and Tony was pretty close, but he also has a pretty good lead run too, so when I followed, I was just right on him the whole time, and that gave us the win. So now we're on the podium. It's awesome.
Yoshihara takes on Nafori in the finals, but something goes wrong for Di.
Scott, you know, his crew chief came over to me. He's like, pace us on the pace cone. So I did that, and we started to take off, and he's just going so slow. And so I knew something was wrong, and I saw him stop, so I just kept on going. Definitely not necessarily the way I want to win, but today, like every run I did, I kind of knew I was going to win. You know, it's just one of those days. So I was pretty confident I knew that was going to be a battle for sure, absolutely. But I think I could have done it.
I was kind of bummed out first, but you know, think about it again, but you know, I got second place, which is not that bad. So I'm glad that motor could keep learning until semifinal at least.
Tyler McCrory ends up with the win, but Daijiro and JR get second and third and break away from the pack in the point standings. Don't drift away, there's more action to come. We're in Sonoma, California for the last round before the finals. Turek and Faust will have to battle it out in the semifinals for crucial points in the championship.
Me and Tanner had a really close battle. I know he was super close to me on the entry, and I just made a tiny mistake. I thought it was going one more time for sure, but the judges decided to give it to me. I guess his mistake was a little bit bigger than I thought it was.
Turek makes it to the finals as Gittin and Forsberg try to join him.
Forsberg and I had a good run. I didn't give him an inch when I was following him. I was right on his door. In fact, I almost hit him, but I was able to pull it together. When I was leading, I knew I had to do something drastic. I entered real hot, a little bit too hot. I actually put 2 tires off, but Forsberg put 2 off and spun. So I ended up moving on. I really would have liked it if he didn't spin and it was a good heads-up win, but right now at this point with Guy going out early, I'm going to take whatever I can get. And
The finals would be Turek versus Gittin, and it would be a close one.
Sonoma was an incredible event for us. We had the car dialed. I was super focused, driving real hard. My strategy throughout the event was really enter everybody in as hard as I could. I knew we had probably the most grip there in the turn 1, some of the highest speeds in the turn 1. It worked out a lot in my favor.
We almost had JR at the end there in the finals. I thought it should have went one more time. A lot of other people thought it should have went one more time, but he ended up getting a win. But you know, second place was great. It just feels good that all the hard work pays off when you hit the podium, and we gained a lot of points and kind of stayed somewhat in a championship hunt, and/or close enough to have a very good shot at second or third place in the championship at the end of the year.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win and stays on top of the leaderboard.
You know, when they announced me as the winner there, it was just like this flashback to reality just happened. Like, you know, this is an unbelievable place to be right now, considering our finals are coming up, Irwindale. I couldn't be sitting any better in the championship heading into it. And bottom line, we go rock this city tonight, and we'll see you all in Irwindale.
Now we end up at our last round in Irwindale, California. Gittin has a 58-point lead and has to make it to the round of 16 to win a championship. We start the round of 32 with McNamara versus Pfeiffer, but Pfeiffer was no match for Darren's aggressive driving. Next would be McCrory against Nishida. Nishida straightens, taking himself out. And then comes the carnage, as O'Sullivan hits the wall, giving it to Millen. These walls would continue to take drivers out, as Kondo hits it while driving against Widette. Turek shows Miki why he's in fourth for the championship, as Gucci just can't make up ground against Pollard. Faust blasts away from Lejeune, not looking back at all. And Verdier spins, giving an easy win to Grunwald. Forsberg flies into the infield, and Sherman tries to catch up but hits the wall. Takatori and Fournier get a bye. And Dean sticks it to Mang as he makes it to the round of 16. Then it was Yoshihara in field. Daijiro was way out in front on his way to a victory, but he spins, losing all hopes for the championship. Powers took on Mohan, but Mohan took himself out. Aono went against Ospo, but Aono could not compete with Ospo's speed and angle. Then finally, it would be Gittin versus Konstantinov. Gittin knew this was for the championship and showed no mercy, winning the round in his first Formula Drift Championship.
Did we just win a championship? Wow! you know, the championship, we're going to celebrate that tonight. You know, we had a little celebration here after. We'll go back to the pit and celebrate a little more, but after this break's over, I'm going to be running the top 16.